Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Monday at Namaste, or to the beach. I was intending to go to the beach this past weekend with Joy and a couple of others, but we went to the hot springs instead. So this is the only chance I'm going to have before entering into the anchorite to feel like I'm sitting at the beach. So I thought I would use this virtual background today. Let's take a deep breath. It is always to welcome the reality and the experience that I am now and will always be. Once again, a deep breath. Welcoming that experience. There's nothing I need do but that, to welcome, to hold open that space where the light can enter. And so this moment, this day, this week, I desire only one thing: to be so open that grace floods my entire being, to be so awake that all things I see vibrate with the power of reality itself. A single desire. So we begin our gathering here today by stoking the fire of that single desire, putting wood and energy and attention upon that holy fire, that it may burn away everything that is not needed, and to reveal in the light all things that are always true. A single desire for the experience that I am. And so it is. So this morning, I want to begin by sharing just a very short paragraph from someone who lived a long time ago, but is expressing this experience so beautifully. Her name is Angela of Foligno. She lived right around the same time as St. Francis. Foligno is a road right up from Assisi, very close. She was, I think, a very young child when Francis was alive. And she was on fire with this same love. And I always love when I find sources like this, especially Christian sources, just because that's where my own reference is, that speak this exact same language and are speaking right to the experience that we're describing. So when I found Angela of Foligno, I was just so excited. So I want to just share one little paragraph from her writing. She says, God loves the soul, and that God is the very love of the soul. That God is the very love of the soul. This very God showed me by living knowledge or experience that he himself was goodness itself. There is in my soul a chamber where the all good, which is not any particular good, resides in my soul. And he is so much the all good that there is no other good. And that goodness is in me. Once again, the experience of this, what we'll call from Angela's words, goodness, the experience of the all good is all encompassing, all inclusive. It doesn't matter where you come from, what country, what religion, what background, the experience is the same. You could be a Buddhist, a Muslim, you could be anything or nothing, and yet the experience of that all goodness, the reality of that experience, which is what you are, will always be the same, expressed 800 years ago by someone like Angela, expressed in this moment through you. All that matters is diving into that river, jumping into that fire. And it will always be the same, no matter what the context. That's what I love about that. And it's so similar to what we're sharing here every day. So let me read our selection for the day, and you'll hear the same echoes within, because it's only one experience. So here we go. Here's today's lesson. The essence of anything must be the essence of everything. The essence of anything must be the essence of everything, because everything is contained within my mind, the whole mind, and cannot exist anywhere else. Once again, the essence of anything must be the essence of everything, because everything is contained within my mind and cannot exist anywhere else. I am within all things, and yet I cannot be contained. I am above all things, and yet nothing below me exists. I am all in all, and through this allness, all things find their meaning. Wow, that one sentence. Let's drink that in one more time. I am the experience of who you are, the I am reality within you. I am all in all. And through this allness, all things find their meaning. Wow, that's a lot of alls. One sentence, 4 different times. I am all in all. And through this allness, all things find their meaning. Do you see where he's going with that? See where she's going with that? One place only, right to the center, right to the truth, right to the experience. We're not holding back. We're not using words anymore. We use them just for a moment, then we let them go, because words can either reveal or hide the experience. If we have an over-dependency upon the words, and we keep using the words over and over, and we never are quiet, then the experience that those words can, if we allow, trigger, never comes. But if we take a sentence like that, I am all in all, and through this allness, all things find their meaning, and just go out with that. Just be fully present with that one sentence, and everything else will fall into place. Remember, it's like a hologram. The whole is found within each part. So that one line contains everything, if you would but see it and feel it. Okay, let's go on. I actually skipped a whole part. No, that was, never mind. Okay. It's impossible for your intellectual mind to grasp this allness, because it was made to misunderstand rather than comprehend what is forever true. Your mind is never going to be able to grasp this allness. The finite can never understand the infinite, just as separation can never understand wholeness. So when I say you are everything, or that you are whole, I know that you in your mind do not understand me. It is beyond the scope of such limitation, because what I am describing is limitless. The only way you will understand me is if you let all limitation drop from your mind and see that we are one. Feel that we are one. Know that we are one. If I am unlimited, then you are as well. You have refused to believe this until now, but now, or this moment, is all you need to believe what is true. Why have we refused to believe this until now? Why have we chosen to live in a perceptual universe that is a carrot on a stick for all time? always dangling in front of us what we think we want, but never letting us get there. As opposed to realizing that everything is already within, and all I need to do is take a deep breath and claim it. And there it is. And at least, I mean, I don't have the answer to that other question, why we did it, because it's nonsensical. But at least we're standing on the edge now. At least we're standing there right now in this moment, ready to claim. And that is a very good place to be. We're in this borderland experience. We've gathered these mighty companions around us, everywhere in the world. We're saying yes to this. They're not holding back anymore. They're claiming it. And there's no other reason for us to be here but for that claim. To claim that I am one. I am love. I am that. The sacred name of God is your name. If you would but claim it. And that's all this is saying over and over and over from so many different angles. You have refused to believe this until now, but now, or this moment, is all you need to believe what is true. I am all in all. This is the experience I am here to inspire. It is not an idea, but it is the truth. You can hold any idea you want in your mind, but if it doesn't align with reality, it has no effect. That's the key. If it does not align with the truth, with reality, then that idea has no effect. It cannot change anything. Every idea you have ever held in your split mind has had no effect, which is to say that it has not changed the way I see you, the way I am seeing you. I see you. And that's all you need to know. That you are seen, that you are known, that you are blessed, that you are holy, that this is the truth, not an idea. We often, without even knowing that we do it consciously, we entertain these things as ideas rather than the concrete truth of our being. This is the foundation of my entire being, that everything you heard right there is true. Let's go back to what Angela says. God loves the soul, and that God is the very love of the soul. You know, I love when a truth is expressed, and you can hear this in her words. It's circular. It goes around and around because there's nowhere else for it to go. So it just sort of hovers around the fire. Imagine that there's a huge bonfire, and the further away you go from it, the less heat you experience. But if you go around the fire, you stay hot. So think of that when you hear these words. God loves the soul, and that God is the very love of the soul. You see, it's just going around. This very God showed me by living experience that he himself was or is goodness itself. There is in my soul a chamber where the all good, which is not any particular good, resides in my soul. And he is so much the all good that there is no other good. And that goodness is in me. Once again, just going around the fire, not leaving the heat to express a true idea that is true only within the experience of that truth. Did you hear that? It's true only within the experience of the truth. And that's why a mystic like Angela does not stray from the fire. She'll just hover around the fire and describe the heat that she's experiencing, the melting that she's undergoing. She melts into the all. And it should be the same for us. We don't need to stray. We don't need to get away from that fire. Just stay with it. Find that which is creating that eternal heat within you, and then just hover there. Hold still there. You don't have to take whatever you receive and then rush off and everyone, guess what I just experienced? Just stay there. Your living embodiment will be the only thing you need to teach. To be the full embodiment of that fire, that allness. And that being said, we're going to turn to the voice of practicality now. I take all these lofty, big ideas from the great mystics of old, and then Vicki brings them right back down and shows us how we can live them right here and now. So Vicki, good morning to you.
Good morning, James. How are you today?
Amazing.
Yes, you are. So thank you for this. And I never heard of Angela. I'm really happy to hear that. You know, in the more current church, they talk about God is everything, omniscient, omnipresent, it's that allness again. And I love your description of her circling around the all to come back to the core within us. So I was sitting here thinking, well, what is the fire that lights me? And I think for each of us, what is that central, and it may be a phrase, it may be something to look at or a book to read. And for me, I'm sitting here and it's simple. It's like, dear God, you're my everything. You're my everything. I love you. And I can see how when other interests attract me, my attention, and I look to the other interest, I've lost standing around the fire and I've walked away. Not if I'm pulled to react or to do something. And the only way to respond to whatever other interest there might be is to go back to be as close to that fire again and let that fire light me up again. And so God, you are my everything. I'm not looking outside of me for anything. And this is what I was thinking this morning when I was meditating. I was thinking, okay, everything else is just like dust. And I have a Swiffer, Swifter, mop, dry mop. I just swift it up because I'm looking at all the dust underneath the furniture. I'm saying, well, that's the same as any dust particle in my mind. I just take that dry mop and I swift it up and it's
Come on back. Yeah, that's practical. She's frozen on my screen.
Oh, that fire, if I can be in that experience of the fire. And what's that experience of claiming it? It's a natural letting go and a restfulness. And it comes as an experience of some kind of peace and being taken care of. That's the experience in ordinary terms. In mystical terms or in revelatory terms, it may be great light and all the rest of it. But when it boils down to, well, just me sitting here in a chair, the experience of, God, you're my everything, is that restfulness and that, I'd say, gratitude. And that's the state to stay in to meet any situation. And I have to tell you this because this stayed with me since yesterday's call when you were talking about the Shah and St. Francis. And it just came to me, that's a great example of how forgiveness, how healing works. The Shah and the rapture. Francis was in the rapture, in the fire, in the love of God, and there was nothing in him that had an experience of anyone outside of him that could be against him. So of course he went in holy oneness, and instead of the Shah wanting to kill him, the Shah was enveloped in the rapture. And when we become that rapture 24/7, no matter what we're facing, whatever the situation is, it gets enfolded in the rapture if we sustain the rapture as our very own being. That's how to claim it. And the Shah and the rapture. I thought, oh, good, that's a great new book for you, Jimmy, on healing, on forgiveness, on awakening, on whatever. Anyway, those are my thoughts, and thank you for all of it. I love you.
Mm. As always, thank you, Vicky. That was beautiful. Spot on. Yes, the rapture. We talked about the rapture yesterday, and that says it all, doesn't it? Just to be enraptured, to be captured, to be enveloped, to be thrown into the fire of transformation. And what emerges is the truth of who we are. Everything else is just dust, as you said. We don't need it, but the truth of who we are, we not only need it, but we are it. We get to stay with that one thing. That's why you can take just any sentence of these lessons of any source of truth. And once again, it's a hologram. It says the whole thing right there.